Right, so, what's your first name?
Lesley.
Lesley, and tell us what needs fixing.
Well, mainly I would like my brain tumour fixed. They've said it's benign, but I still worry about it. You know.
Okay.
But I've got loads of other things: fibromyalgia, arthritis, bypass surgery, spondylosis of the neck and the bottom spine. I could go on and on and on.
You could.
Let's put it this way: I'm in pain a lot of the time, even with strong painkillers. Yeah.
Where do you get most pain?
Everywhere really. I get with the tumour, I get the pain there where it is.
Yeah.
They said it's probably pressing on a nerve. But everywhere, my back aches and all the joints ache.
Right.
You know.
Okay, uncross your legs. And let's see what we can do, eh?
Got a work cut out.
Yes. Right. Okay, so always recognising that healing comes from a higher power. It's the most important part of the healing, is recognising and requesting that the healing is in accordance with God's will. Right, so the priority, that's why she got first. A brain tumour, nobody got better than that. So she got number one in the second half. It's like having a winning lotto ticket, isn't it? But not.
I soon had the lotto.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you could say that to them upstairs jokingly, like I'd sooner have the lotto and just see what happens. Just see what happens, and if it works, remember who told you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Right. So, let's see what happens with brain tumour. I have had good results with brain tumours, I have to say. I've got a lovely testimonial from a lady who, a young lady, she came to see me, I think it was somewhere in Auckland. I could only squeeze her in before a show at a theatre, and just one session with her. And she'd been signed into hospice, so she was in palliative care. And what happened during that session was the surgeon spoke to her and said a certain sentence or two to her. She responded, burst into tears. After that session, she just remembers feeling really, really happy. She was just happy all the time. She didn't go back for any more tests. For about 4 years, she was terrified. What if she went back and they found something? But when she did go back and have the test, she was completely clear. And I've had another lady in India, a principal of a school, with a brain tumour that I've only been able to work on her at a distance. And after the distant healing session, a red line was visible on the skull, which disappeared within 48 hours, and the tumour disappeared as well. And of course, it's not me. I can't do that kind of stuff. Now, what's happening for you at the moment? Any sensation? How's your head feeling where it normally hurts?
It's okay. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Because the pain sort of comes and goes.
Yeah. So one of the signs will be pain going. That wouldn't necessarily mean that the tumour's gone, though. We've got to be really realistic with this. We don't know. What I do know is that it's all about us learning to feel our feelings. And the more we can feel our feelings rather than keep things bottled up, we start feeling better when we start feeling our feelings better. And we are an emotional species, we are. But if you look at the educational system, it doesn't really recognise that we are emotional beings. It's all about mind and recall. But we are emotional beings. And the more we can feel our feelings, the more we can get ourselves well. Now, sometimes, though, when we feel our feelings, it's almost like it's a bottomless pit that we just keep feeling and feeling and feeling and feeling. And what's happening is it's like we're rerunning a tape, and that's not useful. You've actually got to feel your feelings and let them go. Would you like a little technique for doing that?
Yes.
Yeah? Cool. Right, so what we do is we visualise a golden ball of light, and you imagine that this golden ball of light is at the base of your spine. And this golden ball of light could be hip width, a bit smaller, a bit bigger. And then imagine a similar sized golden ball of light at the centre of the earth. And so I'm going to get you to visualise this on you as well, yeah? Then we connect the two with golden light, with like a tube of golden light. So golden ball of light at the base of our spine, golden ball of light at the centre of the earth, then connect the two with a tube of golden light. Make sure that tube is very securely affixed all the way around the base of the spine, and then make sure it's very securely affixed all the way around the centre of the earth. Now what we've done is we have created, using imagination, a grounding cord. Now the grounding cord is a real phenomenon. It doesn't look anything like we've just imagined it. We've just imagined it to start activating it. So if you start to feel now that you've got tingling in your feet or tingling in your base of your spine, that's a good sign that that grounding cord, that is a real phenomenon, but doesn't look like we've just imagined it, has been activated. Then you imagine yourself with long spiritual fingers, longer than your physical fingers, and imagine yourself sweeping in above your head, going through your whole energetic space, and flick the stuff down the tube. Just sweep it and flick it down, sweep it and flick it all the way down your body. Anything that looks black or grey or sticky, just pick it up with those spiritual fingers, flick it down the tube. From time to time, just look at the tube, make sure it's not bulging, it's not got stuff stuck in there. If it has, just imagine a flush, whether it's a lever, a cord or a button, airplane toilet, taking the stuff away, taking it out of your energetic space. All right, we are energetic beings, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Some of the thoughts in our head were put in there by other people, they programmed us. And now we're taking responsibility for weeding the garden, holding on to only those thoughts that serve us. I am amazing, tell yourself that, I am amazing. I feel incredible. I love my life. If you can say those as though you really mean it, it's going to really have a good and beneficial effect on your body's chemistry. I love my life. I'm excited about the future. And then anything that's not like that, just send it down that grounding cord. And it's your job to be vigilant 24/7, noticing your thoughts and how they make you feel. And change your thoughts. If you change your thoughts, you will experience a change in your experience of reality. Now, sometimes there'll be a thought in our head, but it won't match with the feelings. And if there's discord between your thoughts and your feelings win hands down. So if you're saying, I feel happy, but inside you don't, the feelings win, okay? Because unconscious thought, your feeling goes out much, much faster than conscious thought. So you've really got to get your feelings in alignment with your thoughts. Right now, just notice how your head's feeling.
Feels sort of relaxed.
Feels relaxed,
Yeah.
no pain in there?
No.
Nice
no.
and clear in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really good sign, really, really good sign. Doesn't necessarily mean the tumour's gone.
No.
That would be very naive. But it means that the underlying energy that gave rise to the tumour has shifted temporarily. Now, whether it stays shifted, that's going to be down to you and good practice. What you're needing is something like either a yoga or a Tai Chi to bring awareness better into your body. In fact, you all need it. You all need something like a Tai Chi or a yoga, something that really makes you very body aware. If you want good health, you've got to keep your awareness in your body. Have we got any yoga teachers in the room? Or Tai Chi teachers that we can point? Okay, find yourself a good yoga teacher, a good Tai Chi teacher that will help you get you in touch with your body. Okay, right. Now, when I work in your energy field, she doesn't want to be a pain. She doesn't want to be a nuisance. Isn't that right? You don't want to be a burden on anybody else. Right, okay. Can you feel that muscle twitching as I talk like this?
Yeah.
There's something, she doesn't want to be a burden, but she's manifesting a physical condition that if it continues, she will end up being a burden on people, which isn't what you want. Isn't it amazing how in this reality we can manifest what we don't want? I went out in the new van once. I wasn't allowed to drive the new van. I've been driving for years. I've been driving, I passed my test when I was 16. And I've never had an accident that was my fault. Think about that. Right, and so my partner, I'd be in my 30s and my partner wouldn't let me drive the new van. So it became a bone of contention. So when I drove that van for the first time, guess what happened? I had a little bump. I pinged it. I reversed it into a pillar. Because I really, really didn't want to bump the car. Yeah? So if you really, really don't want something to happen, it will happen. Because the universe is made of energy, you're made of energy, and when you really don't want something to happen, it's like it's on elastic, you're going to get it. So you've got to get smarter about how this universe works. Like, I really do not want to win the lotto. It will be a nightmare. It will be, you know, my life is busy enough without having to work out how to spend that money. And if that works for you, remember who told you. Yeah? But that's how this universe works. You see, you can have conscious thought, you know, I want to meet the ideal man, but I don't want to meet a frog. All right, ladies, find yourselves a frog and turn him into a prince. That is my idea. Seriously, because there's lots of frogs out there. Yeah, find a frog. Everybody's looking for a prince. Don't find a frog. There's nothing wrong with frogs. It's true. Find yourself a frog and turn him into a prince. Cool. Now, just notice your head's still nice and clear in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Notice your neck. How's that feeling?
Yeah, it was aching a while. When you've done the other on the neck, that helps.
So that's helped it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right. Now, as I get through into shoulders, there's a lot of tension in your shoulders. Right, I've got these words, self-responsibility. Right, now this next bit might do our heads in a little bit, but I'll do my best to explain it. If we look at the word responsibility, now I first looked at this word responsibility 24 years ago when they asked me if I accepted the responsibility for what I came here to do. And I've probably just baffled you a little bit, so let me explain. At the age of 31, I started seeing spirit, and at the age of 31, I got visited by the first of my guides who told me why I was here, that I was here as a healer and a teacher. Don't forget the ones that can't see. The ones that can't see will still feel the vibration. Well, I was a bank manager at the time. I hadn't got a clue what he was on about. But thankfully, I wrote down that sentence. A week later, I was visited by the second of my guides in the flesh. Both my guides visited me in the flesh. Other people have seen them on both occasions. And he wanted to know if I accepted the responsibility for what I'd come here to do. And so part of my experience was to look at this word, response. Ability. It's made up of two other words, response. It's your ability to respond, responsibility. So if this building was to catch fire, it would not be my responsibility to put the fire out if I'm not a fireman. It would be my responsibility to take the list of names and make sure everybody leaves the building. And hotel staff may have a responsibility to check toilets and things like that. So we can only be responsible truly for those things that we have the ability to respond. So when I was 4, I had a new baby brother, and I was 4, and I was responsible for my baby brother. As a 4-year-old, you can't be responsible for a baby brother. You don't have the ability. See the difference? Yeah, somebody telling me I'm responsible for him doesn't make me responsible for him. Yeah, the parents are still responsible. And that would make it sound like I've got a really bad mom. I'm not saying that happened, I'm just giving that as an example. Okay. So, self-responsibility. Now this bit might do your heads in a little bit, but it's my opinion, after the years I've spent in this body, that there is no self. I have a body that you can see, I have a name that my parents gave me, and inside I have thoughts and feelings, but I actually don't believe that there is a self. I believe that temporarily I made a self for myself out of my past experiences. I was good at something, so I thought of myself as a good chess player, and I was not so good at something, so I thought of myself as not very sporty. All right, so I made a temporary sense of self out of my past. And then when I was about 30, I realised that I am not my past. You are not your past. For some of you, it's going to be a blessed relief. For others, it's going to be a disappointment. But you're not your past. That's just what you've experienced so far. My number one most difficult thing to learn this lifetime was to break the habit of mentally projecting myself into the future. That's been the hardest thing, bar none, for me to do. So conditioned within me was it. I was used to, when I do this, when I do that, next house, next job, next relationship, next book, next TV series, we tend to sustain our sense of self by mentally projecting into the future. And I've learned, and I am still learning, to keep myself in the here and now. Because this is the only bit that's real. All healing takes place in this moment. If you become enlightened this lifetime, it will be in this moment. It can't be in the past, that's already happened. It can't be in a mind-projected future that may or may not happen. So if you want to be enlightened, you've got to be here now. Yeah? And then who are you if you're not that story in your head about who you're going to be in the future, and you're not the story in your head about the past? Do you see? That's why I say there is no self. I exist. I absolutely exist. My feelings can be hurt, but I don't consider there is a self to defend.
Wow.
Interesting, eh? Yeah. Because I exist, you exist. All right. So, if that's been useful to you, great. Cool. Right, now, in your space, the words were self-responsibility. So, you're not actually responsible for maintaining a sense of self. Rather, you're responsible for being here now. All right, so think about this, okay? How easy is it to be here now rather than hold on to that sense of self and who you're going to be in the future? Can you see it's easier? Can you see it's like a weight off your shoulders? So all you've got to do for the rest of your time here is be here now. Can you do that? Yes. It takes some practice, it takes some discipline, because we're living in a sea of people that are in the past and the future, and we have a conversation, and usually it's about the past or it's about the future, and people pull us out of presence. Yeah? Yeah, it's interesting. All right, it's interesting. Now, when you feel a deep connection with a person, you are fully present with them. You're not in your past thinking about what they've just said. You're not in the future. If you want your sex lives to improve immeasurably, be here now. Not in the past, not in the future, yet just be here now in the body. That's what all you've got to do, yeah? Without any preconceived ideas about what it should be like. We've been heavily conditioned, heavily conditioned. Right, how are your shoulders feeling now?
Yeah, quite relaxed.
Quite relaxed, okay. And so we've taken off there this responsibility for self, for sustaining self, for projecting self. We don't. All we've got to do is be here now. Now, children do this beautifully. Yeah? Children are just, they're in the moment, aren't they? They're just, and you're like, no, don't do that. And it's like, but they're just experimenting with life. They're engaged, they've got energy. You look at a toddler, and then you look at a 7-year-old, where did all that energy go? Excuse me, but there's something seriously wrong with our educational system. They've gone from being to, something is not right. And then we look at older people and it gets even worse, with notable exceptions. Don't we all know some older people with their lights still on? And don't we love being around them?
Yeah.
They're great, aren't they? All right, age is a number, guys. Age is a number. It's all about, are you conscious and aware, doing what feels right in each moment, or are you in your mind conforming, doing what everybody else tells you you should do at your age?
Yeah.
How's that feeling? Feels good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
now we're going to go all the way through a body, all right? So this is, I'm not going to say what this is, you can work out for yourselves what it is. of the things that I'm needing to drop in is that life isn't over yet. You need to know that your life isn't over yet, all right? There's some really cool stuff coming.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
I look forward to that.
You will, okay, and we've just got to drop that in. I consider that I have not yet experienced my best health this lifetime. All right, I'm 55. At 55, I feel better than I did at 20. Yeah? And I have got a mindset where I haven't experienced my best possible health yet. It might be next year, it might be the year after. Yeah? We've got this programming that's telling us, you know, things should ache and creak and rubbish. Rubbish. Yeah? I know 20-year-olds that are in worse condition than 90-year-olds. And it's about this. It's about their mental outlook. Okay. Going down your body now. Now, responsibility for self, it's coming again. It's coming again, so I've not touched on everything that needs to be. You are responsible for being here now and for noticing how you feel. Okay, right, so let me just play with you a little bit. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine you're sat in traffic, M25, where I was tonight, seriously, UK's biggest car park. Nothing's changed in the 20 years since I've been gone. Right, okay, so, and you're going to be late. And you've set off at 6:30 in the morning, and you're really tired. You're going to be late. You're not going to be able to eat, and people won't understand. And notice that level of stress building up in your body. Okay, and then I want you to imagine that seriously you've won the lotto. You cannot believe it. Oh my God, 6 numbers. 6. You've checked, and the kids haven't set it up for you. It really is. You've won the lotto. And notice how your body chemistry feels. And then I want you to think about, and your mother-in-law's coming for the weekend. And notice how your body chemistry feels. So what is happening is every thought, every experience here triggers chemicals in your body, and you can take charge of those chemicals by seeing things differently. So one of the things we do need to do is be mindful of other people's energy. If it feels good, great, feel it. If it doesn't feel so good, the best thing we can do isn't any form of spiritual protection, it's this. Yeah, if somebody's not in a good space, walk away, let them know that that's not okay. They are responsible for sorting their feelings. If they are responsible. Now, if somebody is in a very fragile mental state, then I wouldn't suggest walking away. In that state, you just bring consciousness in. Bring consciousness in without judging them. Just bring energy in. Bring energy in. Let yourself go to where they are, but without going down to the level where they are. Just bring consciousness in. Your very best counsellors, it's not the training they've had, it's not the right words, it's are they present with you? If they are present with you, they can be an amazing counsellor. If they're in their head thinking, oh hell, what am I going to say next? That's not such a good counselling session, is it? Presence, presence. But be aware of your energy. And now, I want you to close your eyes, and without giving any names, because this is on camera, I want you to think of the person that drains your energy the most. Just bring them into your mind. Yeah? And notice where in their body they drain you. Where is your connection with them? Yeah, and let me know whereabouts it is.
In the head.
It's in the head. That's interesting, isn't it? Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to give back with love. This is very, very important, this bit. We give back with love to that person all that's rightfully theirs. Would it be fair to say it's you perceive they judge you?
Not necessarily. She just expects too much. And
Okay.
It's not a good friend. She's not really.
No,
And I'm
okay.
talking about you.
All right, so what you're going to do is imagine that friend is stood in front of you, a little, not right in front, but 10 feet away, and you're just going to give back to that friend with love. That expectation, just give it back with love. And then call and command back into you with a nice deep breath. I call and command back into me all that's rightfully mine. and then give back to that person with love all that's rightfully theirs. I call and command back into me all that's rightfully mine, in breath. Give back to them with love all that's rightfully theirs, and I call and command back into me, in breath, all that's rightfully mine. Okay, because you need to take responsibility for how your energy feels, not for the self, how your energy feels. And if you need to rest, you rest. And if you need a particular food to eat, you get that food to eat. Yes, sometimes our body craves something very specific, and we need to get that food. It's got something in that our body needs. Okay. Cool. Now I can feel you're sort of trembling a little bit. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that normal for you?
Basically, yeah, I do. I've got a bit of a restless leg, so that goes sometimes. But I take tablets for it, so then it
Right.
helps. But it's wearing off now, so it stops.
It starts trembling. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any kind of diet drinks? Anything that's like no sugar, like Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Sprite?
No, I
No.
don't. No.
No. The reason I'm asking, do you have anything that's like a sugar-free chewing gum?
No.
No. Okay. The reason I'm asking, and this is just general information for people, there's a chemical called aspartame that has various different trade names, and it's commonly in diet drinks. In America, there is a court case, or there was a court case, between the makers of aspartame, a company called Monsanto, who are now called Bayer, and the multiple sclerosis association. There was a massive, massive peak in the number of MS cases, and they found that it was due to the aspartame. The aspartame converts to a wood alcohol. It's like a nerve, it damages the nerves in your system and gives you restless legs. So anybody suffering with restless legs, I always like to check that out. Right, okay. Let's get you walking around and just see how you feel.
I feel lighter than I did when I come in.
Awesome, awesome. Now, the spirit doctors will keep working on you. Typically, if you receive a treatment here, whether it's in person or sat in the audience, it's 21 days. At the end of 21 days, you'll have received the full benefits from that session.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
God bless.
Thank you.
God bless.